Morning, Karthik.
Recording in progress.
Anand, could you please go for mute? Kritika?
Karthik, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Before I just missed the last class session, so I have heard a recorded session. So and I saw this like AWS already taught, and I was thinking like how did I miss it? Because I was also joined for an AWS class. So
Have you attended AWS session?
no.
Okay. So AWS, the fundamental layer are there. We have done already for this fundamental layer. I'm not sure. Okay, you just reach out to me. I'll guide you.
Yeah, and may I know when the classes will like what's the timing for the AWS classes?
8 to 9 new batch, probably day after tomorrow. It is, I believe it's gonna be start. I'm not sure, but
Oh,
expect.
okay, okay. Yeah, fine, thank you.
All right. Cool then. So we discussed the Jenkins. So we started to discussing the Jenkins tool, and even we have deployed Jenkins tool top of this server. Now I connected with the Jenkins master. All right. So I'm into this server. We just define the host name, all the steps, and let me start the service, which is Jenkins. I just want to start. Okay, so now the Jenkins service, which it is running. So you can see that. All right, so again, I just want to ping using my 8080 port number. We can see the Jenkins dashboard. Perfect. So the credential for Jenkins, I just created admin and admin password. We could able to see the Jenkins dashboard. All right, so far we discussed how to configure the Jenkins platform. Any questions? Perfect. So when you go for Jenkins, it does architecture. Okay. Ideally, we used to call job. When you go for job, it's nothing but, right? So any activity if you want to do, let's consider. Okay, so here we do have the job. The job, it does architecture. When I say job, it is nothing but any performance if you want to do top of Jenkins platform, it does the architecture, right? So in this job, you can set it up your goal. So let's consider it is your outer layer. In the outer layer, we do have job. Instead of this outer layer, we can set it up your goal. So this is your goal. Could you please go on mute, Jai Chandra? Okay, so instead of job, you can set the goal. Okay, so goal is nothing but if you want to build war file, tar file, or if you want to do any test, smoke test, performance test, NFR test, PSR test, right? All this category we can do, we can set it up goals instead of your job. And instead of, goal, I can define, the plugin. So plugin is very important. Without having plugin, Jenkins is not able to do any performance over here. Okay, so plugins is quite important. Based on your goal, you need to install plugin, right? And once install the plugin started to build. So when it is building, so during the time it's gonna be providing output file. So this output file is pretty much important, right? So based on the output strength, we can decide whether can be push into the next stage or not. it is a sequence when you are trying to building job, right? So it is a sequence. First, we need to set it up your code, your plugin, and it's gonna be providing, output file. Again, the output file, it has, multiple types. So the output file, it's going to be providing multiple types of weather report is very important. Based on the weather report, we could decide whether the job can be deployed into this UA or dev, or UAT, QA, or dev, or production. So we can decide. Let's consider, so the weather report, it has 5 category. First, if it is popping sunny, the job strength, I would say, which is 81 to 100%. The job does full strength, so you can start to deploy or push into the next stage. If if is popping, partially sunny, let's consider here we do have the weather report which is popping partially sunny. So the job strength you can consider, which is 61 to 81%, the job strength. And if it is popping cloudy, right, in this category, the job strength, it could be 41% to 60%, the job strength. Or if it is popping raining, the job strength, which is 21 to 40%, right? And thunderstorm, yes.
Karthik, I didn't get job strength.
I will come. Please give me a moment. Welcome. So if you go for thunderstorm, the job strength would be 1 to 20%. 20%. Okay. Now ask me your question.
No, you said job strength. Is that accuracy, or I didn't get that?
I did not explain. Give me a moment. I'll explain that. Okay. So now let's consider you are getting code from the developer. You are getting the code. So now code, it is in your hand. We do have the build tool. Let's consider the code, which it is basically the runtime is Java. So the runtime, if it is Java, in the sense, what is our build tool? Our build tool, Maven, right? So using by this Maven, we could build the code. So when I am building, it does the sequence. I need to do unit test. I want to do smoke test for this code and check the strength of your code. How many variables did they pass? How many classes they inserted? So all this category we need to analyze. Then you can start to build. So when I am analyzing, I'm going to get the output file. So the output file will looks like this. No, it seems like weather report. So when I'm getting sunny, the job, it does 100% strength. You can push into next stage. Next stage would be deployment, or next stage it would be testing or security platform. Anything it would be fine. If I'm getting raining or thunderstorm, don't release this job. The job does not have strength. So until cloudy, it is acceptable. Below cloudy, it is not acceptable. What ideally we used to do, in the sense, we need to take the output file. I mean, we need to take the report, send back to the concerned developer. We are facing issue with your code. Then the developer will come back and look into this code, and what are the bugs. If they want to resolve, let them resolve. Then they will they will push back into GitHub. Again, Jenkins will go back and pulling the changes. I mean, what we have done, the changes, it's gonna be pulling the changes, and those changes, the Jenkins, it's gonna be triggering, and all the changes code, it is hitting up and with an existing code. Again, the job started to build from the scratch. So now the job, if it is popping partial sunny or sunny, you can push into the next stage. Make sense? So weather report is very important when you're writing Jenkins file, or I mean CI/CD pipeline automation script. When you're writing during the time, this card we used to call card. Okay, I mean weather report we used to call card, which is popping green card, red card, blue card, yellow card, right? So accordingly we can design and we can push into the next stage. You can go and see weather. Sorry, yeah. You can see weather report in Jenkins, right? Perfect. So you can see here at any point of time, if you're starting to build the job, you can see which is popping thunderstorm, don't release, because the job does not have the proper strength. And if it is popping sunny, you can see the job, it does 100%. So you can push into the next stage. You can see that. So ideally, on top of Jenkins, multiple application, I mean, multiple CI/CD pipeline, it's gonna be running for a different application. So during that time, how can we understand? Let's consider I just built 15 to 20 jobs for a particular CI/CD pipeline. So during the time, it's hardly to fetch the output, right? In that cases, it's gonna be popping the weather report over the dashboard itself. Make sense? So that architecture I have drawn over here. Any questions? Any questions? Did you get my point?
Karthik,
Yes.
when Melvin analyze the code, like it will analyze the standard or business logic.
No, these are the standard. These are the standard.
Java code standard.
Yes. These are, Maven standard. We do have a testing tool standard. We do have even build tool. It does a standard. These are the standard. I will show you. If you go for a build tool, it does the standard. Okay. Let me show you that when you go for DevOps. So here you can see it is standard job. So first job, this is CI/CD pipeline. When I'm triggering, anyhow, we are going to understand. If I'm using Maven, first job has to pull the code from repository. Second job, do test for PMD, programmer mistake detector. Third job, it has to do test analyze. Fourth job, check the metrics check of each classes. Fifth job, converted as a package. Sixth job, start to deploy.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, so if it is, I mean, if you need to test a job, if it is popping, thunderstorm, fourth, fifth, sixth job will put into queue. It will not trigger.
So basically here the tester will give the input of the business logic. So based on that it will generate report, correct?
Yes. Perfect. So when I'm trying to build the job, the job structure will looks like this. Got it?
Got it, thank you.
All right. Others, do you have any questions? Anybody?
Sir, this weather report, they will contain what all the things, sir, like bugs, only bugs in the code, or there will be other things?
No, see, this is your code. Okay, let's consider we do have, 500 lines. So for 500 lines, if I want to do test, it's hardly manually. If you want to do, it's quite hardly to fetch the error. So on top of Jenkins tool itself, we do have some, automation plugin. When I'm picking the plugin, it is going to analyze all the variables classes in the code. It's going to be providing the output.
Okay.
Okay, so here when it is providing the output, it's going to be converting as a weather report. So using by the weather report, I could able to understand whether does it is having the strength or not. If it is not having the strength, go to the error page, take the report, send back to the concerned person.
Okay.
Right. So let me create one job. You can go back to your dashboard, which is, yeah. So this is your Jenkins dashboard. I just want to create the job. Okay. So I'm right now, I'm just going to creating dummy job. I'm not going to pull any kind of source code right now. Bit later we'll pull. So let me create the job, which is job one. While creating the job, we do have multiple flavors. This is very important. See, when you go for freestyle, this is I would say open source platform. If you do have Java or Python, or any other runtime, if you do have, if I'm choosing freestyle, it's going to be pulling the code only from the master. Okay. And when you go for pipeline is nothing but you can create a dedicated dashboard for each application. So let's consider Anand, he is working for Flipkart application. Vinay, he is working for a Paytm application. Kritika, she is working for ABC application. But all three application right now, which is running on the same machine. So I don't want to show all the pipeline jobs to everyone. I want to create independent dashboard for each team or for each application. I can do that. And multi-configuration project. Multi-configuration project is nothing but 2-3 repos simultaneously if you want to pull and if you want to integrate, right? So during the time, we can choose multi-configuration project. And folder is nothing but you can create some workspace and you can pull all the code, keep at this space. It's not going to make any sense. GitHub organizations, if you want to pull the code from GitHub, you can, right? And when you go for freestyle, it is supporting SVN as well. Multi-branch pipeline is nothing but I do have branch 1, branch 2, branch 3, branch 4, all the 4 branch simultaneously I want to pull and put into one CI/CD pipeline. You can. So here only master. Here, if you want to pull the code from the branch, you can use this multi-branch. So I'm just going to choose freestyle. So depends on your requirement, you can choose the flavor. I'm just going to choose, freestyle. Let me hit OK. So the next dashboard, it's pretty much important. So here we are going to pass the variable. So the first option, if I go with the general, we can restrict, what are the jobs if you want to build or, where you want to build. See, ideally the CI/CD pipeline, it has 2 types, CI and CD pipeline. It has 2 types. One which is declarative pipeline. Another one which is scripted pipeline. It's very important, scripted pipeline. It is for on-prem, or if I created standalone server, right? Like this, if you're trying to build a CI/CD pipeline, we do have 2 categories, declarative and scripted pipeline. I will tell you the difference, okay, a bit later. And if you go for Azure platform, again, we do have 2 pipeline, one which is build pipeline and another one, release pipeline in cloud platform. These are our interview questions, types of pipeline. So when you go for on-prem, as I stated, one which is declarative and another one, scripted. If you go for Azure platform, again, we do have build pipeline and release pipeline. Let's try to understand a bit later. Okay. So now let's consider ABC pipeline. where do you want to run? I mean, I just created a master slave. It's gonna be around 4 server, right? So when I'm trying to build this ABC application, on top of which node do you want to spin up, I can restrict. And this pipeline, who want to access or who want to delete all this user privilege, you can restrict over here using by general option. So source code, again, if you want to pull the code from GitHub, right, we can. Right now, it is not popping SVN. For SVN, we need to install the plugin. After install, you can see the SVN space as well. Build trigger. Again, we are talking about, CI/CD, I mean, continuous integration and continuous delivery or continuous deployment, right? So any pipeline, if you want to build, we can set it up the interval time. At the particular time, I just want to trigger this job. It's gonna be triggering. Build environment. So based on your runtime, you can choose your environment. Let's say Maven, right? And VSTS, Gradle, you can choose. Build, which version are you going to prefer? Post build. After build it, what is your action? I mean, you want to deploy or you want to test, right? Or you want to check the vulnerability or strength of your code, all the stuffs. So right now, I just want to create some shell script over here. I can show you how can be built. So yes, I want to create some shell script. Let's say I'm just going to writing the script. So okay, good morning. So this statement I want to write. So good morning. Right. So this statement I just want to keep instead of test1.txt. Right. So this statement I just want to keep instead of this file. Again, I just want to print. Let's see. Apply, save. So for each job, it is going to be creating workspace. This workspace is very important. Again, when you are doing the automation or job 1, it is here, job 2, job 3. So now your architect or the concept, your manager, if they are asking us to pull the data from the particular job, I can go and check all the report file in the particular workspace. So for each job, it is creating the unique workspace. Let's try to understand. I just want to build this job. When I'm trying to build it, it's gonna be providing the build history. So build history is using by this build history, we can do the automation to the deployment. See, let me build. While I'm building, it started to building. So now you can see I got build number, which is 1. So like this, if you are having 100, 99th build, I just want to release. You go and pick the 99th release, history and insert into that your scripting language, which we are preferring to do the automation for deployment. I can pick the particular history ID, go and deploy. So build history is very important. Okay, when you are doing the automation script. See, now you can see, go back to the output report. You can see it is successfully inserted that statement to the particular file. So the job, it is popping success. What are the actions which we are doing over the UI? You just go back to CLI, the location of a workspace, go to /where. You have to bypass this location. Okay, library and Jenkins, and here you can see workspace. So here you can see job 1. Get into job 1 directory and test 1. Perfect. So what are the actions if you are doing over the UI? It's popping the statements. Got it? And again, you just come back to the dashboard. You can see the job strength, the weather code, which is sunny. If it is popping sunny, you can see the strength of your job. 100. So again, let me create one more job. Let me put it over here, job 2, right? Freestyle again, I just want to build. Here, I'm just going to write it down some script over here. Let me do some mistake. Intentionally, I'm just going to do some mistake. I just want to, write it down. Welcome to DevOps, right? So I just want to insert this statement instead of text2.txt. I just want to insert the statement. Let me go and save. Oh, okay. I want to do mistake, right? Let me, okay, fine. So I just want to save. Again, let me try to build. So now the job has to pop up failed. See, now it is popping red color. You can see the job, it is failure. So when the job, it is failing, right? The job, I mean, you can come back here. Your report will not be there. So get it instead of job 2. Oh, sorry. Get it instead of job 2. Now you can see none of the file is there. Because the job, I mean, the file, it is getting failed. You can go back and see the dashboard. It is popping thunderstorm. So now, are you understanding the architecture? When you're trying to building the job, you can see the output file. The output file will be, looks like weather report. Any questions? Questions? Still, I did not pull any code, right? I just want to make you understand the dashboard. Once if you are comfortable with this dashboard, let's proceed to pull the code. All right. Perfect. So now I showed you how to create the job, right? The same job, if I want to resolve the bugs, go back to the existing job and configure. And here I can go and do the changes, right? So welcome. And I'm just putting the quotation. Again, let me try to build. So now you can see the job will get success. Perfect. But immediately it will not go to the sunny. It will go to cloudy. You can see. So stage by stage it will go. Now it is popping cloudy. Next build, it's gonna be popping partial sunny. You can see that. Again, I just want to build. So for each build, the job will get strength. Again, you just go back here. Now it is popping partially sunny. So you can see the 60% of strength for this particular job. Again, you just go back here, you can see the file because successfully it is built. Now you can see test2.txt. Welcome to DevOps. Why it is popping 2 times?
Oh, you built it for twice.
Yes. No. I have given double greater than. If it is single greater than, this is Linux, right? If it is single greater than, it will replace. If it is double greater than, it will get append. One more build. If I'm doing in the sense, let's see. Again, I just want to build. Right. So fourth build. Right. So let's see the strength. Still, it is partial setting. No problem. See here. Now, previously it was popping 66. Now it is popping 75. But you can see again, it is getting append 3 times. So if I want to give this, single greater than, it will not get append. It will replace. See, again, I just want to build. So now you can see. Perfect. Makes sense? Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Great. So now I hope you understood how to create the job. Let's try to understand how to create the user. First, let me explain the dashboard components. Then we will go back and pull some, kind of real-time project. It's not a complete real-time project. kind of one front-end application. Let's try to download. So full stack application, it is not available over the internet. Okay, but let's try to pull that front-end application. Let's try to build. Started to analyzing some, code. I mean, the strength of your code. Let's see. So before that, I just want to show you how to create the user. So right now we do have the user, which is administrator, right? I just want to create normal user. Okay, for him or for her, how can we define the privilege? All right, so when you're defining the privilege, again, it has 3 categories. So the user policy, it has 3 categories. One, which is metrics based authorization, right? And another one, which is project metrics authorization, right? And third one, which is, LDAP or Active Directory. Fine. See, again, while creating the user, we do have 2 steps. On Jenkins itself, if you want to create the user database, that is possible. Or if you do have Active Directory, so from the Active Directory, if you want to, clone the user for the DevOps, to build the CI/CD pipeline, you could able to clone. So we do have the identity broker. We do have identity broker. Okay, so in this identity broker, if they are using Auth2, right? Auth2, it is identity broker. So if you do have Active Directory, right, it's all the user database which is in the Active Directory. Using by this identity broker, I could able to clone all the user. Not all the user who is part of this DevOps profile. So I could able to clone all this. The end user, and we can integrate the Active Directory database with your Jenkins. So that is ideally we are using in real time on Jenkins server itself. We are not creating any user database in real time. So all the user, who want to build that pipeline or who want to edit any performance if they want to do, so we can define the privilege in Active Directory, and it's gonna be replicating into Jenkins server. Okay, so in such cases, Auth2 will be there, or CWA, Common Web Authentication will be there. That is also one of identity broker. Open ID will be there, and right. So these are, I would say, identity broker. Okay, you can see to identity authorization server. Okay, so using by that, we could able to make the authentication if you do have Active Directory. See, so whoever, end user, if they want to start to build any job on top of Jenkins, first it will go and get the authorization, and it will come back and it will redirect to the target server. You can see, you can consider the target action. Okay, so these are different topics. I don't want to take you in deep dive, but again, the authentication, it is happening using by this identity broker. So right now I'm not able to do this hands-on because we don't have Active Directory server. I'm just going to creating the user database top of your Jenkins. See, this is syncing your user. Okay, end user. Once if you sync up, then you have to define the privilege using by either one of these. That's very important. For syncing perspective and the stalking, you cannot able to define the policy. Let's consider when I want to build a ABC application pipeline, you cannot able to define privilege over here. You have to define privilege over here, right? So here I can define if I cloned the user data list through from Active Directory, you can again, for the job action or job privilege, you have to define using by this. Make sense? So now I just want to create a Jenkins database. Okay, Jenkins, let me put this way, database. All right. So these are the two category. Using by this two category, I could able to define, create the user database. Once if you're done, then we can define the privilege for the particular user. Same, if you clone, here also will be same. You can define that. All right. So what is the major difference between metrics-based authorization, project-based metrics authorizations? It's a slight differ are there. See, here we do have multiple jobs are there. Okay, so job 1, job 2, job 3, multiple jobs are there. Now for all the job, okay, so our user, end user, okay, so the end user, Vinay. So here's our user. Now I just want to define read privilege for all the job. I just want to give, read privilege for all the jobs. So the Vinay user, I can add into metrics based. Once if I add it, so this read privilege is applicable for all the job. Read privilege is applicable for all the job. Okay. So Vinay user, I cannot able to add, we cannot able to add into the multiple authorization components. We cannot able to add. Either you can add metrics or project. So what's a major differ between this? So if I have given read privilege, if I add it, I just given the privilege which is read. So this read privilege is applicable for all the job. Again, I don't want to give read privilege for all the job. I just want to give the privilege for the specific job. So this user, you just remove from here. Okay, you just remove from here. You can go back, add into project-based metrics authorization. So for the particular job, I just want to give full privilege. For rest of other jobs, I just want to give read privilege. So in this category, you can go and add the user, add the user under project-based metrics authorization. So when you go for metrics-based authorization, you can define the privilege, and that privilege, it's gonna be applicable for all the job. Again, I don't want to, I just given the read privilege for all the job, but I do want to define the full privilege for the particular job. So the same user, you just add back into project-based metric authorization, and you can define which job does he want to give the full privilege. You can define, and the particular user is going to having the full privilege for the particular job. Rest of the job, he does the privilege of read, and for the particular job, he does full privilege. That's the major difference. So you just go back to the console. I want to create the user. How to create the user? Go back to manage Jenkins, and here you can see manage user. So let me try to create a user. I just want to create username, which is Vinay, and Vinay. Password also have given Vinay. Okay, Vinay password, and the full name. Again, let me give Vinay, and Vinay @. You can give your official email address, but right now I just want to give a Gmail. Fine. So I'm creating user database on Jenkins server itself. Now you can see the user Vinay. All right. So I just want to define the privilege. You just go back to dashboard. Now you can see, go back to the people, you can see how many users. So we just added one more user. For Vinay, at this point, I don't want to give any privilege. Okay, I mean, I just want to give read privilege, rest of privilege, let's try to disable. Go back to manage Jenkins. So here you can see configure, system. Go to the configure system. I'm sorry, go to configure global security. Sorry, go to configure global security. So here we can define the privilege. Let's see. Perfect. See here, if you want to sync up with your LDAP server, you can go and give your Active Directory server along with your port, and those user data will sync up with your Jenkins and you can define. But right now I'm just creating the user database on Jenkins server itself. So here you can see two types. One which is metrics-based security, project-based metrics authorization strategy. So now I just want to add the user. Right now, Vinay user is not popping over here. I just want to add, let's try to add Vinay. Okay, for him of overall in the sense, the dashboard. So for dashboard level, if you want to give read or administrator or create, you can give. I just want to give read privilege. And credential, if he want to reset or do any changes with the credential, no. Agent is nothing but master slave. Okay, so anyhow, we are going to spin up slave missions a bit later. So if you build it 10 slave missions or 5 slave missions, when I want to build only, first and the 7th slave, rest of the slave, he don't want to access, so we can define that. Now it is quite important. So for the particular job, if you want to define the privilege, let's consider, I just want to give the read privilege for all the jobs. I'm just going to give the read privilege. So it's going to be applicable for all the job. And right, I don't want to give this. Okay. So here, what I have done in the sense for the particular job, for particular privilege, I just enabled for all the job, and overall console I have given, read. I'm just going to apply and save. So now we are into this, administrator, right? So I just want to now, when he is logging, I'm just going to copy this URL. Opening new browser. Let me try to see now. Let him log in. So the username, which is Vinay, and password, which is again Vinay. See, now he's not able to see multiple options. You can see here, administrator can see multiple options. For Vinay, most of the option it is disabled. Now Vinay is trying to build. He does not have the option to build. He does only read privilege at this point. Even you can go back and see, go back to the job too. Again, you can see he's not able to build the job. Making sense? Right. So again, the same user, for I don't want to give read privilege for all the job. I just want to give, full privilege for the particular job. Rest of the jobs, I don't want to allow him to read also. That is also possible. You just go back here. Again, I can go back to global security. The Vinay user, I just want to add into this project-based metrics authorization strategy. See, now you can see that Vinay database, it is there. We added already. When I'm adding into this project-based metric authorization, it's gonna be deleting all the information from metrics-based security. Just see, I just want to add him into other authorization, which is Vinay, right? Yes. So now overall it is mandatory. You have to give administrator or read. If I'm not giving, he's not able to see any, he does not have any access to see over the console. You can see for, I'm just going to save. You can see here, once if we added all the data which we added into this metric space, right, it's gonna be deleted. You can see Vinay profile is not there. You can go back to project. Vinay profile is here. Okay, again, let me do refresh. He is not able to access the net. Okay, I'm sorry. It is delete. Okay, I'm sorry. Not safe. So Vinay, for Vinay, I did not choose any option. Okay. I just want to choose read option. Okay. So now apply. So he does not see, he's having read privilege, but again, you can see the job is not popping. Fine. That's the major difference. You can see when I enabled read privilege, when he was in metrics based, he can able to see all the jobs. But again, I have given, I mean, I did not give any privilege for the job. I just given read for overall. Correct. But the job is not popping. I mean, it is not popping over here. So you just go back for the particular job or all the jobs. If you want to define the privilege, you just go back to, again, the particular job. Okay. So we do have two jobs. I just want to allow him to build job 2. So go to the particular job and go to configure. Here we do have exit. Yes. Here you can see enable project based security. Yes, this is the one. So here I can define, I can add the user. So for Vinay, job 2 want to build. For job 2, I'm giving full privilege. You can see. So once if I added his profile into the particular job after enabled project based authorization, now he can able to see job 2. You can see. And job 2 is having full privilege. Makes sense. It's very important. Okay, so when you go for interview or in real time, definitely there's kind of authorization, authentication. Frequently we are going to do that. Any questions on this?
Karthik,
Yes.
the project-based metrics, right? We can give job 1 only read access and job 2 full access. Is it?
Yeah, possible. Yes, I can go back to, okay, go back to manage Jenkins, global security, and here for Vinay again, see, you should be, I mean, he has to be in the same profile. I just want to give read privilege for the job. Okay, so for job 1, he does read privilege, and for job 2, he does not have, I mean, he's having full privilege. Go back here. See, for job 1, you do have only read privilege. For job 2, you have full privilege. Make sense?
Yes, but this full privilege we can't mention in the project base, right? No.
You can see, but if I enable the full privilege for the, under the project based, it is applicable for all the job. Correct. It is applicable for all the job. That is what we discussed, right? You are talking about this one, right?
Yeah, this one we have all the jobs, but my question is project-based metrics, right? We can give like selected job, selected role, right?
Oh, yes, that's correct. Sorry, I did mistake. Yes, you are right. For the selected job, you can give a selected privilege.
Yes. So I want to mention job 1, job 2, both in the project-based authorization metrics.
Yeah, you can do. Yes.
That is possible, right?
Yeah, possible. Yes, you can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Others, do you have any questions? Perfect. Okay. So again, so now we understood how to create the user. How can we define the privilege? Next, build history. Okay. See here, what are the jobs which we are building, right? Who is building? So now the job 2, you can see the logs. Okay, you can go back and see the logs. Go to the job 1. You can go back to see the history. You can see this job, it is started by admin. Now Vinay, let him start to build for job 2. So once he started, you can see the logs which it is started by Vinay. So ideally, all these logs I want to keep at one place. I don't want to keep at, I don't want to see the logs at the particular job place itself. So in this case, see, I'm talking about only jobs logs. It is not for server logs. Server logs, we do have syslogs file. So all the logs, it's gonna be saved at the particular location. So you just forget about that. I'm talking about the jobs logs. When you go for the jobs logs, who built it or who deleted or who, all the actions. So which job does it is completed or which jobs it is in pipeline. Into the queue state, right? So all these logs we can capture. So how can we capture in the sense, we need plugin. We need to install the plugin for capturing the logs. Right. So for capturing the jobs logs, it's very important again, because how many times it is built, we need to understand. So for capturing the jobs logs, you need to install the plugin, which it is Audit Trail. So using by this plugin, we can capture all the logs and put into one, workspace. Put into one workspace. So what are the logs which it's generating? All the logs, it's gonna be, sit at one place. So here I can create, any name you can give, but the name should be .log. Extension should be .log. Okay. So let's try to install Audit Trail plugin. You just go back to the console here. Any plugin, if you want to install, again, you need to go back into the Manage Jenkins, and here you can see Manage plugin. So almost 1,500 plus plugins are available. If you want to write your own plugin using by Groovy script, you can do that. So ideally, we do have 4 option update. So when I'm doing, if I want to update this SSH build agent, it's gonna be pulling, it's getting updated from Jenkins repo. So they do have Java repo. Okay. So available, these are the plugins by default, which they created using by Groovy script. Installed, what are the plugins have we installed? So when we were initializing this tool, some plugins was getting installed, right? So all the plugin you can see, and so this is quite important. See, as I told you, using by Groovy script, you can create your own plugin, then upload the file. Once if you upload it, it's gonna be popping over the available list. So now we just want to install Audit Trail. You can go and search Audit Trail plugin. Audit, okay, or else let me search it over here. Audit Trail, yes. So this plugin you need to install to capture all the logs. Okay, keep log of who perform on particular Jenkins operations, such as configuring jobs. Makes sense? Only jobs log it's gonna be capturing. So I just want to install this plugin. When you are installing, don't select install without restart. If I enabled, then the service will get restart, not server. Service will get to restart. Service, if it is getting restarted, then obviously we may have the downtime. So we don't want to hit on this option in the real world. I just want to, I'm sorry, you don't enable this. I want to enable this. If I enable this, it's gonna be getting restart. So let me install without restart. So this plugin, it is pulling from the repo. Right, so it's trying to install. Yes. So after install, if you want to cross verify, you just go back to Manage Jenkins, and here Manage a plugin. You can see here Audit Trail, it is installed. So now for all the jobs logs, I just want to keep at the particular workspace, right? So that workspace, where can be built? You just go back to Manage Jenkins, and here you can see configure system. So after install the plugin, you just go back to the particular location, and you can see perfect. So you can see Audit Trail, it is installed. After install the plugin, you can see this option. So here, so I just want to capture the log file. In which location do you want to keep all the logs? I just want to keep under the temp location, and I can write it down the file name audit Jenkins dot log. Okay, so my file name, which is audit Jenkins dot log, and size of this, I mean, file, let me give 2 MB. Okay, and log file count, let me give 50. So 50 logs I want to keep. So the 51st log, it is going to replace first log. So our length of I mean, the file count is 550, right? So 50 logs will be there. 51st log, it's gonna be replacing first log. So log separator is nothing but you know, you can put comma, you can put dot. So log time, let's consider time, and your output report. So if I'm mentioning comma, easily we could able to understand, right? So that is a log separator. Using some special character, you can make the separate of each argument. So yeah, what is the syntax? I just want to understand. Separator, you can see separator to set between the data time stub. See, this is what I was explaining. Okay, I just want to give space. If I given space in the sense, of course, it's gonna be for each argument, it's gonna be popping the space. You can see, I'm just going to save. Once if you saved, you can go back, the directory will be created. You just go back to /temp directory, and here you can see, perfect, it is created. See, audit Jenkins.log, which we created. So all the log, it's gonna be keep at this space. Let's see, tail hyphen. I just want to see all the logs over here. So right now we don't have any logs. Okay, see, it is capturing the space. Okay, I just want to build. Let me put it over here so it can. Oops. Okay, so now I'm into this Jenkins. It is your backend and the front end. I just want to build some jobs. Go to job 1. If I'm building, log has to capture. Let me try to build. Perfect. See, job, I mean, build history 2, and you can see build history 2 for job 1. Who built it? Started by administrator, and job successfully it is built. Again, I just want to build, right? See, it is capturing the logs. Again, if I want to build, perfect. Makes sense? So what are the, I mean, what are the actions if you're going to do with your job level? It's gonna be capturing all the logs is very important. I hope you know that, right? So all the logs we can capture until 50 count. At this point, I have given the limited size. After 50, it's gonna be replacing, I mean, the 51st log, it's gonna be replacing the first log. 52nd, it's gonna be replacing second log. But in real time, of course, it might be, you know, 500 or 600 logs, and every month or every week we can set it up the validity time, you know, 15 days or 30 days, or 90 days. We can keep the logs after 90 days. I just want to terminate all the logs. Of course, you can set it up the time. I mean, the file count, it should be 1000 or 500 accordingly your validity time. So it is the way to capture your job logs. Got it? Any questions? I'm just explaining the dashboard. While I'm pulling the code, then all these category we can integrate with the particular jobs. Any questions? Perfect. So so the next concept, you know, we understood pipeline, right? I'm sorry, creating the job and capturing the logs, right? So next, let's try to understand how to, you know, configure master slave. So right now we do have one server, right? So I don't want to depend on one server. I want to spin up multiple server. Okay, so here master and here slave 01. Here I can create slave 02. All right, so using by this topology, most of the cases you can see master slave topology will be there, ideally in real time. So they will never depend on one server. They will be depend on, multiple servers. So any one of the server, if it is down, immediately other server has to pick the code and start to do build, and it's gonna be deployed. So pipeline should not be down. Okay, so before that, I just want to understand, do you have any queries? I can address those questions. Then we'll jump into master slave topology. Any questions? All right, shall I continue, or if you're not comfortable, no problem. We will wind up, we'll continue tomorrow. I don't want to dump you. Anybody?
You can continue, Karthik.
What about others?
Continue, Karthik.
Okay,
Just continue.
thank you. All right, so let's try to understand the master slave as well. Okay, so it is, using for high availability. Okay, so any one of the server, if it is down, other server has to bring up. But how does it is bring up? We need to make the authentication. Some handshake you need to configure. Then we could able to manage the high availability, right? So in this case, first you need to install the plugin, which is slave, which is slave setup. Okay, so this plugin we need to install. So once install the plugin, this plugin is going to be generating token. Okay, so this token we need to share. We need to share across all the slave mission. So the token should be shared into slave 1 and should be shared into slave 2 as well. Okay, so once if you share the token, you can specifically, if you want to whitelist any port number for communicating between each other, you can specify, or else, randomly you just enable the TCP agent. So once if you enable TCP agent top of your master, so the master, it's gonna be providing, providing the port number between 0 to 65535, right? So that is your default range. So it's gonna be providing that port number. Using by that port number, we could able to make the handshake. So step 1, what we need to do, first to install the plugin. After install the plugin, the master, it's gonna be providing the token. Okay, so once generated the token, you can share all this token to the slave mission across all the slave mission. You just share the token. Once if you share, it is encrypted the token. So if you want to decrypt for each slave, you need to create secret key. If you want to decrypt, we need to generate the secret key for each slave. For slave 1, I need to create secret key on master. For slave 2, you need to create secret key on master. So once if you created the secret key, and then it started to communicating with your master using by some port number. Make sense? Did you get this? Any question on this?
So master doesn't need secret key, sir.
No, master is generating the secret key. That secret key we are sharing, to across all the slave mission.
Okay.
Yes. All right, so I'm just going to bring up two server. Okay, go back, and I just want to create a two server for slave. Let me choose Linux and make sure, sorry, I missed this point. Here you should not install Jenkins. Here you need to install only environment, or I would say runtime. See, if I'm using Java application, you need to install Java. If you install Jenkins, then the slave would be considered master. Okay, so don't install Jenkins package top of your slave. You need to install only runtime. Master need runtime, I mean environment. If I'm having Python, you can install one node you can reserve for Python. If I need Java, one node you can reserve for Java. So when I'm trying to building the Java application, the master will distribute the load into respective slave. If you do have .NET, it's gonna be distributing the load into respective slave. So ideally, the master, it is distributing the load to the respective slave after install the plugin. So make sure don't install Jenkins package on top of any slave. All right, I just want to go back and
Karthik,
yes.
I mean to say this is about high availability, right? So
Obviously,
in case if it is a failover, so do we have to install Jenkins and slave and use it, or?
No, we don't have, see, failover concept is differ, high availability is differ. Failover concept, when you say failover, one server will be standby. So this server will be running. The server, if it is down, the standby server will bring up. That is failover, right?
Okay, I meant to say, yeah, got it.
Okay, but when I'm pitching high availability, all the servers should be running. There is no standby server,
Yeah, correct.
right? So we are talking about high availability. Make sense?
Yeah, got it.
Great. So just go back. I just want to create two server. We can choose T2 micro, let it be. And I just want to create a two server. It's gonna be deployed any one of this zone. And again, I just want to enable public IP. So add storage, HTTP would be fine. And here, let me choose the existing security group, which yes, correct. Perfect. So review launch and launch this. I just want to choose my keeper. So two server it is bringing up. One which is slave one. You can see. Okay. So let me go on filter. Instance state running server. I just want to filter. So Jenkins server, I can see. So one more server should pop up. Perfect. So here, I just want to give slave 01 and here, let me give slave 02. So we do have two slave and one master. Let's try to install, Java package top of all the slave, and let's try to install the plugin as well. Okay. Meanwhile, let me log in into this slave one. So let me open new tab. Okay, let me go with new tab, which is this. Okay, so this is for slave one, and one more let me use for slave two. All right. So here, let me try to connect SSH-I. So Singapore 3 dot pen file EC2 user at the rate slave on public IP. Just want to connect. And again, I want to create the host name. In this location, I just want to give the host name, which is I can give slave 01. All right. So restart the service. And again, I just want to SSH-I and Singapore 3.name file EC2 user at the rate, just go and copy slave to server. Perfect. So now I just want to connect and all right. Again, I just want to give the host name. So let me go and do changes, which is slave 02. All right, so init 6 makes sense. Fine. So again, I just want to connect back. It is refusing. It's getting restarted. Restart. Okay, so let's wait for a few minutes. So it is your master and it is your slave. Let me try to connect. Perfect. You can see slave 1 and all right. So again, I just want to connect back, which is slave. Oops. Perfect. So it is slave 2. All right. So we do have slave 1 and slave 2 as well. I just want to update before installing Java package. I just want to update. All right, so it's getting update, and again, I just want to update the YAM repo.
Hello.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, this server creating that is is cost based or it's a free one?
It is cost. No, it is a cost effect will be there. It is not free. Pricing dashboard is there. So you can go back and see my billing dashboard. So server, if it is keep on running, right, you can see this month cost.
Okay.
Okay. So it is my, okay, how much it is. So I consumed Elastic complete cloud server completely. I consumed S3 storage completed load balancer. Okay, fine. You just go back. So it is your pricing dashboard will be applicable to the server if it is running. If it is stop, your pricing dashboard will be disabled for stopping state, but if you are consuming volume, right? For volume cost will be there when if it is stopping. Yeah. Great. So I just want to install a Java package because we are going to build a Java application. I just want to give Java 1.8. Okay, Java application started to install. Again, I want to install Java 1.8. Could you please go on mute? Okay. So again, I just want to install Java package. Top of the slave. All right. Okay, so once done, let's try to install the plugin. Okay, so now you can see. Okay. Perfect. So here, where is Java? You could see. All right. So here we have done. Where is what's happening? Shit. Okay, where is Java? We installed, right? And Java version again, it is 1.8, right? So next, let's try to install, plugin. Go back to master. We need to install the plugin. Go back to manage Jenkins, and here manage plugin. I want to install the plugin, which is slave setup. I think so. Let me check. Slave setup. Yes, slave setup plugin. You just try to install this plugin. After install, you need to enable the TCP agent. Okay. Accordingly, you need to whitelist the port number under your security group. Now I just installed the, the plugin. You just open, I'm just going to open all port. So then we can finalize which port it is going to be decided. I just want to allow all traffic at this point. Okay, so let me create one more rule. Let's try to choose all traffic. Buffers I want to enable anywhere. Okay, so go back to instance. We just allowed all traffic. So after allowed all traffic, you can go back here. See, after allowed, here, go back to manage Jenkins here. You need to choose configure global security. I need to enable TCP agent. That is very important. Yeah, see here, TCP port by default, it is disabled. Now I just want to enable, or you can whitelist any specific port number as well. You can give any number 0265535, right? So between any port number you can define. But at this point, let's say it's gonna be whitelisting some port number. Let's see that. Okay, so after enable the agent, you just do save. Okay, so once if you saved, so we installed plugin, we have enabled TCP agent as well, right? Now you can go back to manage node. See here. So right now we do have only master. Now we want to add the two most server, which is slave 1 and slave 2. Right. So for that, we need to generate the token. So then the slave, could able to make the handshake with your, master. So while generating the token, make sure the slave, see, whenever, if you're building the job, right, it's gonna be providing the workspace, right? It is on master. Same you need to create for slave as well. Okay, if you do have slave, when the master is distributing the job into the slave, it has to keep all the logs or all the output file at the particular place, right? So in this category, we need to create the workspace top of your slave to keep all the jobs output. Make sense? So what is your location on your master? Anybody? What is the location for your master?
And the temps you have created.
No, that is for log. You can see all the jobs it is keeping in this workspace, right? So here you can go and see the jobs output, correct?
Yeah, Jenkins logs was there, right?
No, I'm not talking about Jenkins logs. I'm talking about your jobs workspace. So when I'm building the job, it's gonna be providing that output file in this location, right? We forget about logs. Logs only master should capture. You no need to create any workspace on slave. So I'm talking about when you are building the jobs. Let's consider I have Java application. For the Java application, I want to build on slave 1. So when I'm building the jobs on slave 1, in the slave 1 has to keep all the output file in at the particular place, right? Am I right?
Yes, Karthik.
What about others? Are you getting? No, if you're not understanding, do let me know. I can help you out. No problem. Guys, are you clear?
Yeah, Karthik.
Okay. What about Vishal?
Sir, I can't understand that.
See here, Sapari, when you are building the jobs, I can see all the jobs output file in this location, right?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Say, you need to create manually, you need to create a workspace on slave.
Okay.
Master, when master is building the job, all the output file keep at the particular place. So now if I know the place, I can go to the particular place. I can download all the output files over here, right? From the slave.
Okay.
From the master, we know.
Yeah, yes, yes.
From on slave, we don't know, right? We need to create the place. Make
Okay.
sense?
Okay. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, yes.
Perfect. Fine. Let me pass still over here. You just try to do hands-on. See, I would suggest hands-on is very important for upcoming session. If you want to take, we want to understand in deep dive. Okay, deep dive, we need to understand. So for that perspective, I would suggest you try to do hands-on, because in upcoming session, we are going to understand the scripting language. Okay, while I'm doing the script, at least you should know that what we are doing. Right, so I would suggest please try to do hands-on on daily basis if you have time. If you don't have time, please try to finish it up in the weekend. Cool. So let me pass it over here. We'll continue on tomorrow. I'm just going to stop over the server. Okay, init 0 server will get stopped. Here init 0 will get stopped. And init zeros. All right. So all the server.
Karthik, for RAID storage, you said like pricing will be still going on, right? Because we had already used 30 GB.
Yes. Yes.
If we had chosen micro free tier, then storage charges also won't be there.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, Karthik.
Bye, Karthik.